get Miss Shay Scott on with me on our podcast, The $1 Million Life Plus, where you can achieve anything you want. And this is really geared for the beauty industry and people that work in the beauty industry, how you can achieve that $1 million life. And Shay is a fantastic story. I've been bugging her to get on with me. So Shay is one of our graduates. She's been through our whole program. She started out, as working in a casino and just things she'll share with us. And now she actually works with us as a coach. So we're so lucky to have her. But I think her story was so motivating and so compelling that I wanted to have a conversation with her so you could see her story. And if anything resonates with you, know that, you can always use her as a resource as well. So Shay, thank you so much, girl. Thanks for joining us. I know you're not really into camera stuff. You're a little camera shy, but I appreciate you throwing on those lashes and joining us today. So I want to start with where you are now, which is 2 years later from when you first started, right? So it's been 2 years only, which is not that long.
Yeah. Yep.
2 years. Yeah, about 2 years. What was it 2 years ago that triggered you to go, I have to make a change in my life and I've got to do it now? Like, I'm not going to do one more day. Like, can you share with us, go back in time?
Yeah. So going back in time, I worked for a casino for the last 10 years, which was fine. I was living my single life. It's fine working the night shifts when you don't have a baby at home, but unfortunately, I became a single mother. I had a 4-month-old baby, and I remember working the night shifts and coming home and just having literally no energy, no time with her, feeling like I was really missing out on the best thing in my life, which is my baby. And I'm like, I got to make a change. I already like to do makeup. I love the beauty industry, wear lashes pretty much every day. Beauty was kind of my thing back before I had a kid. And yeah, so I started Googling. I knew permanent makeup right away is what I wanted to do. And so really it was just a decision of what school to go to. Vine, luckily I found Vine on the first try. I didn't have to retrain after going somewhere else. So I found Vine on the first try, and yeah, have way more time with my baby. And yeah, it's pretty much time and money. That was the thing that motivated me the most.
I love it. Time and money, right? And we talk about that time is the most precious commodity that you have, and it should be extremely valued, right? So you wanted more of that, and then you wanted more money because you want to take care of your baby and live the dream life that you want with your baby. And she's adorable, by the way. And so Beanie. So let's go back to when you were also looking into this and you were signing up with Vine and all that. I know that you didn't have all the funds. What did you do? Because this is something that I see a lot of people trip on, is that they get to something they want, and just because there's a stumbling block or there's a challenge, oh no, I can't do this. Oh no, I can't afford it. I can't afford it is not really a real excuse. It's a self-limiting belief, right? Because you can always find money. Yep. Money can always be found. Would you agree? So how did you get your tuition and invest? So tell me what you did.
So there's actually a couple different things that I did. For my first investment of my class, I actually sat down with my family and I kind of made a pitch to them, and I asked them to invest in me so that I can invest in my future. And that covered my first initial class. After that, I just went working full time. I went as hard as I could, and I got on a payment plan, and I would just chunk out all the classes. And that really didn't take long. And then to start my business, I actually went and I got a loan. So yeah, credit cards, loans, I've jacked up everything. And then, obviously the return on investment is really high.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did everything, borrowed money from family, loans, working overtime. Yeah. 2 jobs. Actually, I was working 2 jobs at one time. To pay for classes. So
yeah. And also raising a baby and being a single mom.
Raising a baby, single 1-person household. Yeah.
So I always say, if you think you can't do it, just talk to Shay. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. If I can do it, anyone can.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the message that I want to get across, that this isn't for the other people. This isn't for, only she could do it. We often see success and we think, there's something special about that person, or they did it, the other people, when really it's you, right?
Yep.
If you dedicate yourself to wanting to go from A to B, especially if this is what resonates with you, let's say you want to do PMU or you want to level up your business, we'll lock arms with you and we'll get you there. Right?
Yep,
if you want it, you bring yourself to us and you put your all in, we will make sure that you go from A to Z without fail. Would you
Yep.
agree with that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, what did you notice in your own self changing through this journey to now?
Oh, wow. I noticed a lot of things. Mindset is a big one. I had a very employee type mindset before. So I have obviously bossed up a little bit, I guess.
I love that
And
word, boss up.
yeah, and obviously things in my life have changed. I have way more time. I feel way more control of my life. I'm not, I'm making my own schedule. I'm my own boss. I'm making money for myself. And I'm not on anyone else's schedule. I can take vacations, trips whenever I want. So I would say the big change is pretty much my mindset was the biggest change.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And people
Yeah.
often overlook that, right? That's a huge,
Yeah.
that's like the number one thing that you start with, right?
Mhm.
The core is what's going on up here because you can
Yep.
make anything happen from there if you get this straight, right?
Right.
And I think sometimes it takes a click for certain people. You get to a
Mhm.
point you're just so sick and tired of like being sick and tired. You're sick and tired of being broke. You're sick and tired of like not doing what you love. You're tired of going to some job you have to commute for 2 hours to go there and back every day. You're tired
Mhm.
of not spending time with your kids that are the most important time and they need you more than you think they
Mhm.
do. And I think there's a critical point where, especially for women, you just go, I am not doing this one more day. I need something
Mhm.
different. And
Yep.
for those that love the beauty industry, like we do, PMU especially, it's like the biggest return on investment you can get, right? So
Yep.
now I would assume that that, and the
Mhm.
other thing to think about is when the baby gets sick, kids get sick, right? And I think the worst feeling for a mom is when you can't be there with your baby when they're sick. I think it
Absolutely.
just wrenches us, right? Like we just,
Yeah.
I can remember those days, and I had my own schedule, so I've just caught. Say, I'm out for the week. I'm staying home with my baby. When
Right.
she had a UTI when she was a baby, went in the hospital for 10 days. I was there every
Mm.
day, sleeping on the cot next to her, and I didn't have to worry about losing my job or
Right.
whatever because I knew that was the life I wanted. I wanted control and I wanted to be able to say, I'm going to Disney World when I want with my daughter. I don't need you to tell me I can have 2 weeks off a year,
Right.
right? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. People that do those jobs, I applaud you. It's not for
Mhm.
everybody though. Those of you that have that entrepreneurial spirit in you, we can get you there, right? Now, tell me, what do you
Absolutely.
think what was some of the challenges that you fought with yourself to stay on track?
Ooh,
Do you,
that's a good one.
yeah.
I would say at the very beginning of my journey, was my self-limiting beliefs. I kind of felt like, I don't know, can I do this? Or who am I? A single mom? I've never been in the beauty industry. I've never owned my own business. What, I'm just going to take the leap and jump into something that I've never done before without having a plan, and I feel like once I took the leap, each step forward kept getting easier and easier, and it just kept building on each other. And so that's another thing I want to tell everyone that, if you think that you can't do it, you can, you absolutely can. You just take one step at a time. And yeah, mentorship, huge mentorship. Find someone that has what you want, align yourself with them, and you'll go far.
I love it. I love it. That was a
Yeah.
great soundbite, and that's so true. It's what we preach, isn't it? We preach all that.
Yep.
But it's you can't do this in a bubble, and you can't do this
Mm-mm.
alone. And those that think they can often struggle. It's not just about the physical work or whatever. It's also about the mental. We all have those days, right? Where you're just like, oh,
Yep.
what am I doing? I feel defeated. I mean, that's normal. Everybody feels that way. And if you don't have a tribe to go to help pick you up and say, come on, let's go. We got you. Let's go. Keep
Absolutely.
going, you can lose track. And I think that's what happens a lot with our industry, especially the beauty industry, when you're solopreneur or maybe one or two of you, is that you feel so isolated, right? You just don't. And if you don't have that lock arms with like a source, a power source to fill up your tank
Mm.
and to guide you and answer questions along the journey, then you're really kind of floating on a raft in the middle of the ocean all by yourself. And so it's
Yep.
not a fun feeling, and there's no reason to do that. There's no reason. So you want to invest in the mentorship that you need and invest in yourself, which is that.
Mm.
So what would you say? So now let's fast forward 2 years. You are now in the range of making in over 100,000 a year, right?
Mhm.
We've had some
Yep.
months that have been like cash cow, right, for you,
Yep.
most you've ever made in your life,
Mhm.
and working less time, right? So 4 hour work
Yes.
week, and you made more money than you've ever made working 2 jobs and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
and cash flow. So your future is bright.
Hmm.
And it's kind of mind-boggling that people would think that, oh, if I invest $6,000 in a training program, that's so much money, and you realize later that you're going to make over 100,000 a year for the rest of your
Yeah.
life.
It's
It's
literally nothing.
it's absolutely nothing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just sit here and go, if you only knew, and how quickly you make that money back, and how quickly you're
Right.
already in profit mode, which is unheard of in business. Most people, it takes a long time to see a return on investment. This is so
Right.
ridiculously easy, right? It almost seems like we're cheating. Like, is this
Right.
real? Is this a real job? Like, am I gonna? Is this? It's gonna. You feel like the bottom's gonna fall out. And like, this can't be real, but it's real.
Right.
And so, what would you say? What would you say to a woman sitting there right now who just happened to fall on this, might be in the same mode? Maybe she's working a job and she's, maybe this is for me, maybe this is for me. What would you tell her?
I would tell her, if you even have that slight little thought, just do it. Just jump right in. Um, you never know unless you try, and you will succeed if you don't give up. That's what I tell all the girls. I can promise that you will succeed if you don't give up. So
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
exactly. Yeah, I would agree
Just
with
do
that.
it. No
Yep,
matter
just
what,
do it.
whether it's raining, shining, happy, sad, no matter what, you get up, you do what you have to do, and that's it.
Absolutely. And there's nothing
Yeah.
like being a mom to get you in that mode, right? Where you're outside of yourself, where you, no
Yeah.
matter what, that baby needs that diaper change. You don't get to be, I don't want to do it today. It's like, you have to do it. You're the mom.
Yeah.
So that's, what a great statement. I love that. And all of you out there that are watching this, you can reach out to Shay, you can reach out to me. And we also have that Profit Academy, which is the business growth,
Mhm.
fast growth. So if you're sitting there and you're like flailing, not sure what to do, reach out to us. Shay is one of our coaches. She's amazing. You'll actually get to work with her. And so, well, thanks so much, Shay. Thanks for this time. I know you're busy, and I think this will inspire a lot of people. And again, so one last question on that, like on the income side, because this is always the
Mhm.
thing, right? We already know about the
Mhm.
time. Tell me
Right.
more about the money side before we tap out. Like, when were you first like so shocked when you actually got that $500 cash put in your hand for doing a pair of brows? Like, tell me about that experience.
So I would say, so my experience is a little bit different because I waited to do Profit Academy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started doing brows, yeah, the first, $1,000 that I made, in that 1 week when I only worked like 4 hours, that was like amazing, right? But I feel like if I would have started Profit Academy sooner, my amazement would have been so much faster and more. So
Yeah.
since I started Profit Academy and started, doing, things like a real owner, a business owner, um, I kind of almost considered that the start.
Yeah.
That's where I started. And so when I started, following everything that we do, everything that we teach the girls now, that's when I started seeing my $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
Awesome.
then last year I had my biggest month. It was 15K.
Yeah.
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 So
I
yeah.
mean,
And sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's
yeah.
only 12,
Yeah.
but 12 to
But
15, I'll
still,
take it. I'll take it.
yeah, you'll
Yeah.
take it. You'll take it. I mean, think about the average income in America is what,
I know.
51,000, 60,000. Like, I don't even, it's very tough.
I don't know how
Um,
people do it. Yeah,
And also,
it's
it's the time thing. Like, who wants to give their whole time to a job that doesn't even mean anything for you? I mean,
right.
now it's different. I'm not slamming working employees. We
Mhm.
need them. And if you love it and you're passionate about it and you really enjoy your work, absolutely. But this is more for that entrepreneurial person who really
Mhm.
wants to have their own gig and be all. I think also the feeling, I think the one unique thing about what we do too, would you agree, is that also how you make people feel. Not only
Yeah.
are you making bank, you're also having clients happy, excited when they leave.
Mhm.
They're happy. You're changing their life. I mean, when you go to bed at night, you feel pretty darn good, right? You've
Yeah.
actually helped people and you've also put money in your bank account. So, I mean, it's a win-win. And you can see, like, for those that haven't experienced that kind of career, it's amazing. If you're doing
Yeah.
something right now where you're just zoned out, all you're doing is staring at the clock, this might be something that you want to look at. So again, thank
Yeah,
you
for
so much.
sure.
Hey, thank you, Shay, for being with us. And we'll see you
Yeah.
guys next time on the Million
Thanks for
Dollar
having
Life
me.
Plus.
Yeah.